therefore we're gonna use some weapons, and it's gonna be pretty fun.
Show, not tell, so watch me. So watch me.
I'm eating. As usual. On my way to the Fitexpo. Now we got my workout in with Charles this morning. Did some hamstrings and got my trifecta meal. Very convenient for this kind of days where it's like everything has to go fast and be ready. So make sure I follow my meal plan. Eating some rice and steak right now. And yeah, we're heading to the Fitexpo Anaheim, where we're gonna, Danny Hester is gonna host a seminar where we're gonna demonstrate some posing and more about the origins of the poses in bodybuilding, what we're trying to emulate when we hit the poses. So therefore we're gonna use some weapons, and it's gonna be pretty fun to really illustrate that and make people really understand how to correctly place your hands or your feet, because it's action movements, it's Greek statues that we're trying to replicate, and most of the statues, they're representing warriors in the act of war. So so that's the idea. It's a great idea that Danny had, and I'm glad to be part of it. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. You try to go up?
No, we haven't.
Oh yeah, if you wore mine, you would have been all matching shoes.
Fail. It's okay.
I didn't know if I was gonna wear the red or the black one.
It might be overkill while you guys are wearing the same color trunks and then same shoes and everything.
Separate tights.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You wear the shorts or the tights?
The trunks.
Oh yeah.
Shorts, yeah. Don't take it out of there just because I don't want people thinking that you don't figure out my face.
Nice.
That's why I said I'm supposed to use that one, not him.
When we get back there, I still have like 2 cans left.
Okay.
It's good for your skin.
Oh, that tanning stuff is great.
Yeah.
that can is
Yeah, I use it for
amazing.
my face, but for like fair skin, like Monique, it looks like she went up in the sun. They've never done it before. They were like, when I was done and they went in the light, they were like, oh my gosh.
I thought they were too darker than Brendan. I was like, what happened?
Yeah, it looks clean though, huh?
Yeah.
So cute.
You're gonna go to?
Not sure.
Turn right onto South Harbor Boulevard, then make a U-turn. Use the left lane to make a U-turn, then turn right.
So I took my U-turn. Nice. Yeah.
Good job.
Well done, Danny.
I'm ready to drive in China now.
You need a scooter for that.
Straight down.
No, it's too dangerous, dude. Those people are crazy there.
Oh, that's it. Fire. Off. Nice, guys. Yes. Okay, we have some requests, Justin. We have some requests for you. Face each other, please. Let's give it up for our couple here. Justin and Pierre. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and go! Here we go. Nice. Great form, Justin. Keep up the going pace. Nice. Excellent without unhappiness or struggles or. We don't need it.
I know. I'm gonna take over.
Go, go, go. Keep going.
How about Protan?
Almost there. In 5. Yes. Go, go, go. Don't lose the speed. 24. Justin, good number. 30. Big smile. I've been asking to be the first.
Instant 10.
That's good.
Much better.
Have to take a picture and show you. Oh, yeah, the back.
Just counts. Every second counts.
You're playing out in Venice.
We're gonna split the money. I'm gonna be your manager now. I want 50% of your earnings. 218. All right. All right. 218. That's a good wage. Okay, okay. So tell me how much weights? Oh, we're going. Are we getting all good? Okay, the big three. Come on, let's go. Almost there. But this gentleman has been always in shape, and this is what really bodybuilding is supposed to be. It's an art form, so you want to be.
Hey everybody, my name is Hester, first classic Mr. Olympia. The classic division is something that came up a few years ago. Can you guys hear me okay? So what I wanted to do is kind of give everybody an idea of where the poses come from. A lot of people don't realize that the poses, you know, bodybuilding, each generation just thinks it's from the bodybuilder prior to them and they like the way they looked in that pose. But you have to understand the history of it to really get a story in your head, which will really project when you learn and you do the poses with that story in your head. The poses actually come from different cultures over thousands of years, namely the Greek statues, which used to use for sport, like the discus. You know, you see like poses like that, they're gonna throw the discus. And over thousands of years, you know, they break off and it's just the poses by themselves without like the weapons. They'll have like the javelin or the spear, then they'll have a bow or they have a sword. So I want to kind of give you guys an idea of a demonstration with weapons and mimic, you know, kind of simulate what the poses came from with some weapons, and then also show the poses itself where it came to be modern day bodybuilding. So I want to introduce what I call the Titans. These are the guys that are awesome posers, awesome athletes. So you can look them up on social media. They have great content. I want to introduce Stanimal. Stan, incredible. He's going to be on the Olympia stage with me this year competing. Can you believe that? Amazing, man. Beautiful physique. And he's off season right now. I mean, just incredible conditioning. This is what classic is about, to be still healthy and still functional. So Stanimal's going to help us do some demonstrations with the posing. And then Tyler, you want to come up? And this is Tyler. He's going to be competing in the classic division. So you have you guys just starting off that love and have passion and want to learn. So some of you might be veterans, some of you might be curious, some of you might have already done a couple of shows. So hopefully this will help you get an idea of the story in your head. Tristyn, will you come up? This dude is amazing. Tristyn is only 10 years old. He's 16 years old. Incredible. The posing and everything. I mean, work with these guys, it was like, I didn't even have to teach them anything. They just moved so fluidly. So we came up with some poses and stuff to help you guys get the concept of it. And like I said, it came from the Greek statues, the Egyptian hieroglyphs, you know, African stuff that were done with on rocks and different artwork, you know, with pottery and stuff like that. They always have like warriors and different poses, and that's where the poses from bodybuilding come from. A lot of people don't know. So you want to understand that because it is movement without really moving. If you have a pose like you do, let's say this pose is real famous, you know, by Frank Zane. And so I'll have someone do the pose, come up and do the pose, stand, out, sword. So this one is a statue from Icarus when he was flying up to the sun. And the sun was so bright it melted his wings and he fell down. And that's from the Greek statue Icarus, just to give you an idea, which is so cool when you learn the history behind it. You know, it's a beautiful pose, but when you learn just where it comes from, it's so cool. So imagine him with wings. If we had a bigger budget, we'd have some wings on him right now. So just imagine that. But he's got some wings in the wings. Turn around. There's the wings right there. We save money. See that? Look at that. That'll probably feed me for like 2 weeks. Just one lap. Okay, Tyler, come up and show us without the weapons. Give us a lunging pose. A lunging warrior pose. That's a very famous one. Now this could be done 2 ways. The way he did it was with a sword. If you notice the way he went down with the pose, it's like that. Now you can do it if you're and there's big statues with weapons like a sword, spear. So if you did it with a spear, he would actually have his hand open like this. So slight differences, and also in the transition of the poses. So there's statues where it's a very similar pose, sometimes with, instead of the feet backwards, it'll have the feet forward, and you're facing that way too. And sometimes that is usually with a bow, and over thousands of years the bows have broken off, but the poses are still there. And so if you're doing that pose with a bow, then your transition, which is very important in bodybuilding, there's the set poses, but then there's the transitions of getting to the next pose, which also makes it very theatrical, visual for people, rather than just going from one pose and then go to the next pose. That's not like, it doesn't flow, it's not artistic. So if you have the concept of where the poses come from, then you'll mimic the movements of like, you know, like let's say I told you about the sword or the spear. Well, let's say like you're doing one with the bow and arrow. So when your transitions would be, you're actually getting the bow, the arrow, and you're putting it in the bow. So go ahead and demonstrate. Yeah. There it is, right there. And that's the transitions. That's where the poses come from. So now when you watch bodybuilding poses, people that are actually good posers, as far as my style is concerned, then you can appreciate it a lot more. And then you get a story in your head. And so we're going to show you a couple more poses, and then we'll take some questions, and then we'll actually do some with weapons for you. I think we have an ambulance or EMT standing around just in case someone gets hurt. That's why I'm going to stand back over here when they do it, because these are sharp. That's how they get so cut. All right, I think I need to sharpen the blade a little more. You gotta take a little more off right there. So,
for about 3 years, and we just came down here for a little bit of vacation, a little bit of bodybuilding training and stuff. Danny was nice enough to invite us out here to do this posing seminar, so it should be a good time. But really how I got into bodybuilding was that I played soccer, and I really liked the art of bodybuilding and how it supported my goals. And as we kind of trained and developed a certain style of physique that you want to look at, the classic physique or the golden era, all these different physiques, you notice that you need to work on your posing, and all of these things, learning the basics and learning where each of these poses come from really has helped me with getting my posing better.
My name is Tyler Lee. I'm 18, and I got into bodybuilding really about 3 years ago as well. After I had a ski accident and I broke my left leg, I started bodybuilding for rehabilitation, and I just really got interested in it. And
me and my brothers kind of pushed off each other to learn more about it and learn more about posing and the art of it. And learning from guys like Danny is just an awesome experience.
Hi guys, I'm Stan Ronjo. My name is better known as Stanimal. I'm originally from France. I grew up in Switzerland. I always played a lot of sports, and at one point I just couldn't keep up with the team practices, the games, and all that. So that's when I started to turn into bodybuilding. I actually started in men's physique. I came here 6 years ago for a 5-week vacation. It turned out to be my life now. So I turned pro in men's physique, and I switched over to classic physique in 2016 when the division came out. Thanks to the guidance of people like Hester, Rory Delmeyer, Samir Banut, Tom Platz, and many other golden era athletes and champions that I really admire. And yeah, I'm now a 2-time Olympian, and I'm looking forward to keep improving and learning a lot about the art of bodybuilding with people like that. So thank you.
Thank you, everybody. It's just amazing to be able to work with such a spectrum of different ages and different athleticism background. I just turned 50 years old and I'm still competing, you know, doing it right, staying healthy, which is number one, making sure I can still function and living the lifestyle of health and fitness. You know, that's the thing is so cool to have all the different generations. Tristyn is on the other end of the spectrum. He's 16 years old. I mean, it's amazing physique. I would probably try to lie and say, yeah, that's how I looked when I was 16, that's where I am right now, but no, it was a long journey. I was a lot skinnier. He probably would have beat me up when I was 16, the way he looked. Maybe, I don't know. But, you know, it's just the spectrum of ages. You know, I think Stan is 21? Oh, I was gonna say, I'm gonna lie too, you're gonna lie. 31 years old, you know, and Tyler, how old are you? 18. Oh, you're not too far from him. I thought you were like the older brother. No wonder you guys are arguing all the time. Let's see. All right. So that's the cool thing about it is the whole age spectrum, and we're doing the same thing. And this is what keeps me young, you know, and also to pass on the correct knowledge. Someone like Tristyn at 16 years old can still be killing when he's 50 years old. You know, and it's about the balance and the art. I've always focused on the art of it, and that's why I wanted to come up here and present it and share it with you guys. It's so cool. The beauty of everything, you know, and everybody loves, you know, action and war and sport. And so we're going to show you some movements that mimic that and the origins of where the posing for bodybuilding comes. Okay, so you guys go like that. Now go like this, everybody. Okay, so we're going to do some poses. Let's start off with a very popular pose, very aesthetic pose, where you're showing the abs and the legs, which is like this movement here. I'm sure you've seen that that pose a lot. So go ahead and hit that one, you guys. And so that one comes with the swords in the back. So they're holding the sheath of the sword. Actually, throw this in real quick, you guys. And we gotta take it out, yeah. That's what I'm doing. Just like this? Yes. Got it? The square peg goes into the round hole. You got it? There it is. All right. So that's the movement. So the warriors are holding the sword ready for battle. And that's where that pose comes from. And then the second pose is from the Greek statues of war. It's actually a couple of different millennium. They have the first one with Medusa, and I believe it was Apollo that chopped off Medusa's head. And so go ahead and get into that pose, the second pose, where they pull the sword out. And usually they'll be holding the sword in one hand and Medusa's head in the other hand, or they'll have both the sheath and the sword in both hands, and that's where that pose comes from. So if you see a lot of bodybuilders hit that pose, which is a very popular pose, like this one, that's where that pose comes from. There's Greek statues like that are so cool. When I went to Greece, It's amazing. Good. And so the next pose is going to be a weapons pose, a lunging sword, like I told you at the beginning. That's one of my favorite poses. It's beautiful. It's so cool. And with the posing, it's so hard. That's why you have to practice, because number one, you have to get the positioning right, the energy, but you have to keep everything tight. Sometimes you forget and you just tighten the upper body. I'll do a little posing too, just to show them that I'm not a team player. Okay, so we'll do like 60 push-ups real quick, just so you get a little pump. You guys are looking flat, and we'll do some more poses. What do you think? Yeah. Okay. So the next pose we do from there, go ahead, demonstrate it, is an attack movement. So go ahead. That's a beautiful movement. The transition is sick. Isn't that, there you go. And that's another very popular pose. Now showing the leg and hamstring muscles and the back. Geez, Tristyn, I should have did more cardio. I didn't know you were going to be that lean, bro, coming up here. She looks good. It's crazy. 16 roller. You're stealing people's bike at 16. Nice. Okay, so the next transition, don't slice each other. There it is. Sweet. And that's a very famous pose too. You're squeezing too hard.
Friends like pass away, so it can be like a muscular pose. It can be a more artistic pose. There's one from Rory and Mario that I like a lot. Well, Bob Paris did it like lunging, so I'm just going to demonstrate.
Demonstrate that one for us. Yeah, that's a very beautiful pose. That's also an Icarus pose. Going up to the sun and falling down. Nice. Roland, what's your favorite pose? Roland was IFBB Pro. I don't know if you guys know that. Amazing. Unbelievable. I was there when he first came from a taxi to Gold's Venice. I was just finished working out. I was sitting on the wall. And he comes out of the taxi. And he comes to me because I was the only one sitting out there. And he asked where the office is or something like that. And I was like, wait a minute. I said, this is like a taller, better looking version of Arnold, but with a worse accent than Arnold. And of course, Rolly came onto the scene, being one of the popular bodybuilders at the time. And he was a great poser. I appreciate his posing too. And his body style was different. And you have to pose for your body style. He was a taller bodybuilder, but still very graceful with his posing. What's your favorite pose, Roy?
Thanks, Danny. I always enjoy the three-quarterback pose, you know, because for that you have to be very streamlined and you have to show really the deltoids, you know, the traps, and it's a beautiful line. And you at the same time you show your hamstrings and your calves. So maybe you wanna, and that's a very difficult pose because these arms, like the left and the right arm, is supposed to be in really one line. And it's very hard to do, because at the same time, you're very nice. You have to do a twist. You gotta twist it really in. I mean, that looks great. I mean, you guys, you hit it right there, you know. So it's not easy to do because you gotta twist, and that twist needs a lot of flexibility in your spinal erectors, you know, to hit this pose. But that looks great. Very nice. Thanks.
Thank you, Roland. Appreciate it. Roland Kickinger, you guys Google him. Amazing bodybuilder. I'm gonna give him the bamboo sword. Can I spread out a little bit? Okay, so they're gonna do like a little routine based on the movements we did, which looks really cool. Okay, go ahead guys. Stand, follow Stan's lead. So you can stand a little bit behind, there you go. Beautiful. Turn the music on. Beautiful. Give us a hand. And the Titans. I'm Danny Hester, First Classic Mr. Olympia. I hope you guys got something out of it. Enjoy the Fitexpo. It's a pleasure to perform for you guys and spread the word of health and fitness. And just everybody, be kind. These days, social media and everything, it's about pushing that positivity. Everyone has a platform. So post this, whatever you guys record, and have something positive to say, and hopefully you inspire someone with the help of us. Thank you so much. Fitexpo.
All right, we're done with the Fitexpo today. Seminar was fun. I hope we shared a lot of good tips and knowledge. Danny did an amazing job. It was really fun to be there with him. Always an honor to share the stage with him and be able to like pass on some knowledge about the sport. And coming home with some builds, drinks, ready for my workout prep for the Olympia. So let's go. We're gonna curl to the car.
I was told to show, not tell, so watch me. So watch me. Man, this beat got me aggressive, got me on the straight offensive. You can't stop this train direction, cause it runs without an engine. Oh, when did I fail to mention that I need all your attention? Cause we're failing in retention, listen up or just forget it. I ain't here to spit perfection, I embrace my imperfections. I just want all that's neglected to hear something they connect with. So I use my only method, all these words that I've invested. I don't hope that they're impressive, I just hope that they're effective.